Yo, yo, yo. You now tune into the Richard Allen Show. So, the topic on the screen, as you can see, is did Trump invade Venezuela for oil? So, did Donald J. Trump invade Venezuela for oil? So, yesterday, this was the hot news topic. I did a report on it yesterday as it was breaking, and Donald Trump definitely was smoking on that Maduro pack. Now, if you don't know what I mean by that, he captured Maduro pretty easily. The United States Army captured Maduro and his wife, and they extradited them back to the United States, and they're going to be facing charges for we don't know what yet. So, allegedly smuggling drug boats and other stuff. So we're not really clear on what charges are going to be brought up. Now, they will be charged with American charges. How that is possible, I don't know. Now, the topic on the screen is did Donald Trump invade Venezuela for oil? Now, I found out some information. A lot of you smarties probably know this information already, but I found out some information that I'm going to show you. So we got some information I found out. So the information I found out, Chevron is one of the biggest oil companies that's in the United States that deals with and gets oil from Venezuela. So the company that you know of, Chevron, because you see these trucks riding up and down sometime. You've seen Chevron gas stations. So Chevron is one of the biggest oil companies that the United States deals with that's in Venezuela. Now, Chevron's headquarters is in Dallas, Texas. So most of the oil companies are in Dallas, Texas. So their headquarters is in Dallas, Texas. Now, obviously, you've seen this logo Chevron before, right? Now, no news outlet that I've looked at is talking about the actual company and why Donald Trump really went over there, right? We obviously know it had to be more for the oil. And, you know, let me put the camera on me. So it had to be for the oil because obviously Donald Trump, um, first of all, when Donald Trump ran, he ran off being a business person. So repeat that again. Donald Trump ran off of being a business person. So we're not dumb. I know I'm not dumb enough to believe that Donald Trump just wanted to save the Venezuelan people from Maduro, right? It had to be business. Anything this dude does is going to be some type of business move to make money for the United States, right? Now, is it ethical? You know, is it ethical? Yes or no? We don't know, or we do know. Now, because a lot of stuff that Donald Trump does is not ethical, right? But let me ask you a question. What person that excels in business is really ethical? So you got to ask yourself that. Now, I'm not saying that it's right, but really ask yourself what person that excels. I'm gonna put this back on the screen. What person for any company that is a CEO that is a CEO or makes a lot of money for a company in corporate is 100% ethical, or they do everything with ethics, right? No stabbing people in the back, no doing stuff you're not supposed to be doing. The answer is none. So there's no person in corporate that is 100% ethical. Remember, Donald Trump is a corporate dude that's the president trying to make money. So you know everything he does is not going to be 100% ethical. It's equal to anybody in corporate. So if you really cut the pie like that, Donald Trump is equal to anybody in corporate. Is not going to be 100% ethical. So everybody out there, you want everything to be a perfect world and everything to be ethical. The people you work for aren't ethical. You know, all of these cell phone companies, um, these banks, these department stores, retailers, none of these CEOs are really that ethical. It's going to be business first. Now, the smoke screen is the drugs to me. So the smoke screen is Donald Trump saying that he went over here for about the drug boats. The drug boats, the drug boats to me are basically Donald Trump. It's a two thing. When you start a company, when you start a company, you know how if you work retail, your company does charities and they pose like they're doing stuff for the community. That's Donald Trump's version of we had to stop the drug boats. This will help America stopping the drug boats, right? That's something that to me, that's something that you're president that you're supposed to be doing. So if you actually stop a drug boat from coming over, woo woo, that's what you're supposed to be doing, right? But the real reason he doesn't move off of charity and doing stuff for the community, and we know that, right? So Donald Trump doesn't move. He doesn't. He's not. He's a business person. He's not going to be like, we're going to invade a country just to save these people. He's going to say that bullshit, but we know that you're moving for business and making money. So all of that, you want to go to Africa and save the Christians. You want to save the people from Maduro. You want to stop the drugs coming into the United States. Now, I do believe that he wants to stop the drugs coming into the United States. So I'm not going to be, I don't think that the dude is that diabolical that he wants his kids to be on drugs, because these kids of politicians, these kids of celebrities, all of the, even the celebrities themselves, they're the ones that wind up on drugs, and then regular people in society also. But 1,000%, this is an oil grab. Now I'm gonna show you some more information. Let me put it on the screen. Let me show you some more information. So Chevron is the main company that we know of in the United States. We know Chevron. So Chevron is the main company that gets oil from Venezuela. Now, there's other companies like you see on my screen, and I may be pronouncing this name wrong. It's Petrolos de Venezuela, I believe. Petroleos, Petroleos de Venezuela is the company that the other company, but the company that we know of, like hands down, is going to be Chevron, right? So Chevron, obviously, all the companies operate out of Texas. The Chevron headquarters is in Dallas, Texas. So let me put this up on the screen. So the Chevron headquarters is going to be in Dallas, Texas. So let me put this up. So Chevron is the biggest company that we get oil from. Now I'm not going to say we, but Chevron, it obviously the headquarters is in the United States, and Chevron gets oil from Venezuela. And you know that Chevron is in Texas because I just told you that. So let's see who is the CEO of now. I don't have this is just going to be basic information. Now, Mike, let me make sure you can see this. Now I'm just looking this up as we go along. So the CEO of Chevron is Mike Rith. Is it Rith or Rife? Rafe. I'm gonna just say Mike Rife. So Mike Rife. I may be pronouncing this word. So Mike. So my man Mike right here, um, graduated from the University of Colorado. He was born in 1960, so he's 66. So of this is the CEO of Chevron. So this is the question. Is Chevron now you know how you have these companies that back these candidates, right? So you know how you have these companies that back every candidate. Is Chevron one of them? We're not going to be able to confirm that, obviously, but does Donald Trump? These are all questions that I don't know, but these are good ass questions. Does Donald Trump owe Chevron a favor? Is Chevron one of the companies that backed his campaign? Right. So you got all of these guys that put these Republicans in. Does Donald Trump owe these guys a favor? To me, the answer is going to be probably yes, because you want you want to get elected as president. You're going to owe favors. So you're going to owe favors. So this is the CEO. Now, let's take a look at Chevron stocks. So hands down, Chevron is going to be the biggest company that gets oil from Venezuela. So does Donald Trump owe Chevron a favor? So seizing all the oil would be a large favor, right? Now I'm just using basic common sense and reasoning. So if you get oil, if you invade a country and you get the oil, you basically getting the oil for free if you invade the country. Now, I don't know how that works. Is Chevron going to get all the oil? We don't know the distribution, but we do know that Chevron does business in Venezuela, and this is a billion-dollar, maybe $1 trillion industry. I don't even know has to be $1 trillion oil, the oil industry. So who's going to get paid? So we know that Chevron, just use common sense. We know that Chevron is in, let me switch my screen here. So we know that Chevron's headquarters is in Dallas, Texas. So who's going to get paid from this, right? Um Chevron, Chevron CEO. Now, the craziest thing about it now, obviously on our level, we don't work for oil companies, we're regular people, right? The oil industry already makes billions and probably trillions of dollars. Why would we have to overthrow countries to get more oils? Probably because these resources run out, and that's probably the answer to that question. So resources run out. You always need more natural resources. There's not that many natural resources on Earth, right? Now, you got people like Bezos and Elon Musk that want to terraform other planets because they're probably it's an unlimited amount of natural resources on other planets, it won't be capped and it won't be taxed. So obviously that's why they want to get the other planets to terraform other planets. But right now on planet Earth, Chevron is the biggest company from the United States, headquartered in Dallas, Texas, that gets oil from Venezuela. Now, let's take a look at the money. Now, let's take a look at the money. So let's get to the money. So now let's look at the stocks because I know I'm looking. So let me put this, let me shrink me down. There we go. So let's look at the Chevron stocks. So this is probably on Friday because the stock market was open on Friday, right? Now, I'm not a financial advisor, but I do buy stocks and I want to take a look at this. Now, I don't know if I'm going to buy this stock, but look at Chevron stocks. Now, this it says close January 2nd, right? So this is the last time the stock market closed because right now it's Sunday. So it went up. It went up. It didn't go up that much, but it went up, which is always good if you own stock. So Chevron stock went up and it's 155.90 a share right now. So what I want to do, I want to take a look at Chevron and Exxon. So Exxon went up also, but I want to definitely take a look at Chevron because Chevron gets most of their oil from Venezuela. That's where they get their oil from, right? So I want to see if this stock is going to go up. So this goes back to the question. Does Donald Trump owe Chevron a favor? Lobbyists. So lobbyists. So I should have said that. So does Donald Trump owe oil lobbyists a favor by invading Venezuela? Now, to the people, you had to have a reason. Now, his reason is the drug boats and stuff like that, which it's a double reason, right? You know what I mean? Like, you know, if a bully is beating up my sister, this is gonna be a horrible analogy. If a bully is beating up my sister, right, and I'm getting into a fight with him by mistake, right? It's two reasons why I want to take that bully out. Now I'm not calling Venezuela a bully, but it's two reasons why I want to take that bully out, right? They might be doing the people wrong and they messing with and I could get money out of, right? So I could rob him and on top of that, he's doing his people wrong. So that's what happened to me. That's what happened there. You go rob the bully or another bully. You go rob the bully, and the bully is beating up everybody. So that's what happened. Now, leave a comment below. Are y'all going to invest in this stock, or should I buy this stock or what? Because irrefutably, this is the biggest company that we know of that's located. Like I said, this company is located in Houston, Texas, right? Let me see something. And I told you your CEO. Yep. So this company is located. I'm trying to double check something. Yep. So their new location is Houston, Texas. Now it's ironic that the Gulf of Mexico is a straight shot to Venezuela. Straight shot. It's a straight shot to Venezuela. So, is it a coincidence? So, leave a comment below. So, if you're just tuning in, leave a comment below. Don't just watch, participate. So, is oil the main reason why Donald Trump invaded Venezuela? I just showed you the evidence. Is oil the main reason why he invaded Venezuela? Now, originally when George Bush went over to Iraq, we thought that was an oil grab. This right here, this is really an oil grab because we're already doing business with Venezuela through Chevron. The company is located right in Houston, Texas. Texas is a super Republican state, super red state. Taxes are good. If you're rich, everything. And you got a lot of oil company lobbyists. Who those lobbyists are, we don't really know. If you do know, leave a comment below, or we could talk about it live. Inform me. Who are the oil lobbyists? Let me see if it'll pop up. I'm sure somebody thinks they knows. So I just Google oil lobbyists. Says oil and gas lobbying. Obviously, this is probably not 100% true. Let me see what pops up. So, who are the oil lobbyists? This is annual oil lobbying. Okay, so damn. Now I don't know if this is facts, but I'm gonna put this up on the screen. This is interesting. So I asked the question: who are the oil lobbyists? Because we see that Chevron is in Venezuela, right? Now the world is a large place, obviously, but we're talking about Venezuela right now. So let's see. So I asked the question, I just Googled this. Who are the oil lobbyists? Now, Chevron is number 4 up there. Look at the numbers. So it says American Fuel, Koch Company. Let's see something. See Exxon. So it's basically like every oil company. But now I just Googled this. Who are the oil lobbyists? Chevron popped up 4th. So they're 4th on the list. So look at the amount of money they spend on lobbying. Is that $9 million? Elections, politicians. So it's a given Republican that oil companies lobby on Republicans. That's like an old playbook. So we just wanted to update myself with that. But listen, 1,000% this was an oil grab. Now, the craziest thing to me is how the people are actually reacting to this. So it's mixed feelings in Venezuela. So it's a lot of mixed feelings in Venezuela right now. So there's been a lot of mixed feelings in Venezuela. So it looks like some of the people want Maduro to be in there, some don't. But this is the most interesting part to me is why the hell does Trump want to go over there? Obviously, it's oil over there. So the connection to me is Chevron, and that's to me because Chevron is right in dot, and there's probably other companies, other reasons, but Chevron is in Dallas, Texas. And look, instead of instead of giving Chevron tax cuts, I'll give you free oil. What about that? So instead of giving you a tax cut, I'll just give you free oil. Because all of those, think about this. Think about, let me see something. Think about all of those oil tankers that, so think about this. Think about all of those oil tankers that they seize from Venezuela, right? And they asked Donald Trump, "What are you going to do with the oil?" He said, "We'll probably keep it." So if you're going to keep the oil, like he's not going to put the oil in the middle of the streets. He's going to send the oil to an oil company that's in the United States. That oil company is probably going to be Chevron because Chevron is already doing business in Venezuela. So yeah, you go to CNN, you go to Fox and CNN and try to find out this. See, the reason why I like independent media like I'm doing right now. Look, the reason why I like independent media like I'm doing right now is because um I'm not compromised. A lot of these people that you watch are they already compromised. They already work. They already been on Fox. If you seen somebody go on Fox or go on CNN continuously, then they're compromised. Somebody gave them a bag to talk about what they want to talk about. I like my independent media because I could not even Google what I just put together. You know what I mean? So this that I just put together, you try to find a thumbnail that looks like this. I just put this together. I did the research. This is why you should come to the Richard Allen show and we could talk about it. Now, I don't claim to know everything, but what I do know is that Chevron is the biggest company that gets oil from Venezuela, and Chevron is in Dallas, Texas, which is a big old red state, right? So, what favors does Donald Trump owe Chevron, right? Every politician owes favors. That's how they get where they go. So we all know that, right? But so let's ask the question. So I'm gonna ask you the question. I'm gonna put this back on the screen. So, did Donald Trump invade Venezuela for oil? To me, the answer is going to be yes. Those little ass drug boats are no reason to invade a whole country, right? On drug boats, it has to be some type of monetary gain, it has to be some type of profit gain to send United States soldiers. Because remember, Donald Trump sent United States soldiers to risk their lives to pick up Maduro and his wife. So You're not gonna do that for a couple drug boats that you've already been shooting them down, right? Which you can just send the Air Force to do that. So you're not gonna risk soldiers on the ground for nothing. It's a oil grab. Um, Now, to me, one thing that's absolutely cap is that to me, one thing that's absolutely cap is that Donald Trump is actually gonna let Venezuela have their own elections and stuff like that. I think that's cap. I think Venezuela is probably going to be the new Puerto Rico. If you ask me, you know, because why would you go overthrow a country, take their president, and then be like, oh, yeah, you can have it back? Do you really think Donald Trump is going to do that? Hell no. Hell no. And I'm gonna tell you another thing. Now, you may not look at this, you may not view this like this, but is this so Donald Trump is obviously some type of friend with Putin or something, yo. They got something going on, right? So is this his chance to show Putin like, yo, I'm big and bad like you? Now, a lot of y'all may disagree with this, right? But sometimes, like, men are simple. You know what I mean? A lot of women may disagree with this. Is this his chance to show Putin that, yo, yeah, you try to get Ukraine? Look how fast I took over Venezuela. You think he's not in the house saying this shit? So you think that Donald Trump didn't want to show Putin like, yeah, you can't even grab Ukraine. Look how fast I took over Venezuela. You think he's not saying that? You're crazy. Now he's not going to come out and say that, but he's going to pump his chest out about how fast that he went over and took over Venezuela. Because if you joined me yesterday, I dropped this yesterday. Donald Trump smoking the Maduro pack. So Donald Trump smoked that Maduro pack yesterday. I just put this out yesterday. So today, so he smoked the Maduro pack yesterday. Today, we're asking the question. Now, did you invade Venezuela for oil? We all know the answer is yes. The evidence is on the screen here. I showed you the CEO. I showed you the stocks rising. We don't have to look any further. Donald Trump absolutely invaded Venezuela for the oil grab and nothing else. It wasn't the drug boats. It wasn't because he wants to save the people of Venezuela. Is absolutely a oil grab. Chevron is the biggest company in the United States that gets oil from Venezuela. So this was 100% a money grab. Now, is this bad or good? Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm 50% on it because, like, you already sending drugs here. Put it like this: you already sending drug boats to the United States, right? Now I'm going to come take your oil. Would I had did the same thing? I probably would have did the same thing. Since you want to send drug boats over here, now I'm gonna just take your whole country and just take everything. Like, it's kind of like you want to stop the drugs. We didn't go over there and hurt the people over there. So it's like, yo, don't send drug boats over here, or I'm over. Look, send another drug boat over here, or I'm gonna overthrow your whole country. I mean, it's really that simple. We didn't have to do it. You don't have to send drug boats over here because it's plenty of evidence. Like, come on now, Colombia, Venezuela. Cocaine been coming to the United States for years. You know what I mean? So we all know this. So was it ethical? I'm 50% on it. You sending drugs over here, Imma take your oil. I mean, it's like it's basic common sense. Listen, I wanna see how y'all feel about this. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Now, if you just tuning in now, earlier in the show, I showed you Chevron stocks going up. I showed you the CEO of Chevron, and I showed you that Chevron is the biggest company that does business in Venezuela, and Chevron's headquarters is in Houston, Texas. Gulf of Mexico is right there. It's a straight shot to Venezuela, the perfect place to steal oil from a country. So Houston, a oil company in Houston, Texas, is in a perfect location to steal oil from another country. I'm just keeping it a buck with you. But listen, make sure you like, share, subscribe. I'm out of here.